Yo, yo, what's up, folks? It's Impact, and I want to take this time to welcome you all back to the Hurt Business 101. Let's get right into this video, man. Today's video, I want to discuss the fight that's taking place tomorrow for the light heavyweight championship, which is the undisputed light heavyweight championship between Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol. Let's go. Listen up, y'all. We got a big fight going on tomorrow night. I know everybody's a little distracted by Devin Haney suing Ryan Garcia, but I would ask y'all to put that shit to the side and focus on one of the best fights with two of the best fighters that could be made in the sport of boxing today. Listen up, man. I was talking to my young boy and we had a discussion yesterday, my man Maul. I want to thank him for that text back and forth that we had for about 15, 20 minutes going back and forth about this. And I want to take this opportunity to talk. I told him I would make a video because the way that he thinks is the way that a lot of casual boxing fans think. And although it frustrates me sometimes, I know part of it is he's very curious, he's enthusiastic about boxing, and he's looking for answers as much as he wants to also prove to me that he does know something about what he's looking at. And I agree with that. Sometimes he does make some very valid points. But let's get into this, man. He spoke to me about him picking Bivol, which is it's okay. It's a 50-50 fight, and I can it's going to be people on the fence about this thing one way or another. But he mentioned to me about him picking Bivol because he said he used the jab better, he had better footwork, and he was better on angles. So in breaking this down, I want to do this in a different way today. I'm gonna bring up this conversation and try to show you guys how you can look at something in one way, but not really have the proper context and nuance in the conversation to really understand what it is that you're looking at. Now, most of us have our perception based on everything we've heard and different fighters we've watched on what a person with a great jab looks like, or what a person with great footwork looks like, or what a person that uses angles well look like. And that's what we view as the measuring stick. For everything, you have a measuring stick, whether you know it or not. Your brain says that's what I identify that with. So when you watched other fighters, you've picked out something. You picked out footwork that you say that's what I think good footwork look like. Or somebody that uses angles, that's what I think angles look like. Or someone that has a great jab, that's what I think a great jab looks like. And then you see everything from that prism. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna explain something to you like I explained to him. He said Dmitry Bivol with the jab. So I broke down the jab, I broke down the angles, and I broke down the footwork. I told him Dmitry Bivol, he has a great jab, but he uses his jab more to maintain the distance that he wants to fight at. Right? And he also uses the jab to start off his combination punching. Right? So he's thinking distance control and defense when he's using his jabs, and also a bit offense, but he's using his jab more to keep the distance the safe distance that he wants to keep at all times. Whereas though Beterbiev is more so using his jab, he does have a punishing jab when he wants to hit you with his jab. He either wants to punish you with his jab, or he wants to find the range to let go of his power punches. He wants to be able to feel you. I know if you're in this range, when I can touch you with this jab, you in range for me to hit you with the type of punches that I want to hit you with to cause damage. So they're using the jab, but they're both great at jabbing, but they're using it for two different things. So it's going to look different, and that's up to the person that's looking at it to figure. That's more people are more picking how the jab is being used versus it being a great jab or not. With the footwork, I explained to him that Dmitry Bivol uses his footwork more so to get in on his opponent, let his punches go, and be able to step back out of range of his opponent, and then step back into range when he's ready, and step back out when he doesn't want to engage. That's more of an offensive defensive mindset with the footwork. Whereas though Artur Beterbiev's footwork is great, but he uses his footwork to stay in punching position. He uses his footwork to make sure he's close enough to his opponent to be able to touch him when he wants, and to be able to maintain a great punching position, which is very hard. Sometimes guys within the shifts and movement of a bout, they get out of punching position. Either they go to in a defensive mode and put themselves out of punching position, or they just constantly find themselves out of punching position after they're being attacked. Beterbiev's footwork is so great that he stays right there in front of you the whole time, and that is considered great footwork. And he talked about the angles with Bivol. Bivol more so uses angles, whereas though he'll throw his combination, he'll turn off on an angle because he has his opponent may put the earmuffs on to defend against an onslaught of punches, and then by the time they take the earmuffs off, get ready to return, he turns on an angle, and then he starts a whole new combination, putting them back on the defensive again, and they're waiting for him. Then they have to try to shift and turn to get themselves back in a position to defend themselves, and then he may turn off on another angle, whereas though Beterbiev will just use the angles as a way to make his punches come from different angles so you can't see them. So once again, he wants to, and he may not turn you. He may not turn completely out of position to a whole exaggerated angle. It'll be a slight angle just to be able to put the punch, throw that uppercut from going straight up the middle. From it might not come straight up the middle between the guard, but he might be on a slight angle where he puts that uppercut up underneath. And he might come from up underneath your arms from a little side angle and hit you with that shot, or hit you on the side of the head with a shot where you can't see it coming. So once again, they both using the angles well, but one is using it to put you completely out of position. And once again, that's more of an offensive to defensive thing. And Beterbiev is using angles as a way to be able to deliver shots from places that you don't see them coming from. And he's already a destructive puncher, so that just gives him more power to put you down. Because when you don't see, if you see Beterbiev's shot coming and you get hit, you're going out of here. So imagine when you don't see it coming. And there's several, you can go back and watch several of their highlights and several fights and watch both of these guys, how they employ this stuff. And it all ties into what I see tomorrow night. Now, I'm going to make a prediction here, but I'm not 100% sure because, like I said, this is a 50-50 fight. You know what I mean? And you can lean one way or another based on how you feel about these two guys. But I'm going to tell you something. Dmitry Bivol needs to stay out of the corners in this fight. He does not need, it's already, when you're in the middle of the ring with Artur Beterbiev, you're still in danger because, like I said, he always keeps himself in position to be able to touch you because his footwork is good. It's just subtle where you may not notice it and you be like, damn, I was just in the middle of the ring. The next thing I know, he's done shrunk the real estate, and now I'm confined to a small space. I'm forced to try to fight him off, and then I'm opening myself up to attack. So Bivol needs to establish his jab along with his footwork to continually turn Artur Beterbiev. I think he needs to be on a complete spin cycle, using his jab, letting off a combination, finishing the jab with a hook, turning out, turning one side, turning the other side, changing levels up and down. He needs to constantly keep Artur Beterbiev thinking. And Artur Beterbiev is one hell of a boxer as well. People have him pegged as just this destructive power puncher that can't think and can't use his brains and his wits. The man has extensive amateur boxing pedigree. He had 300 fights, 295 wins and 5 losses, and he's won world championships, goals, and all of this stuff. He has a lot of experience. Lately, as he's been getting older, he's been employing more of his skills that people didn't think he has. That's why you hear people coming out saying, "Oh, well, he didn't have this skill when he was younger. Now he's starting to be a better boxer. He's getting better and better." No, it's not that. These are skills that he already had and tools that he already had in his toolbox. But as we all know, when you're younger, fresher, you can rely on just your raw ability because of your youth. You don't have to go into that tool bag as much. But as he's gotten older, what we've seen is he's added. He didn't add to his game. He's just started using some of those tools and some of that stuff that he already had to be able to still get to knocking guys out every fight, but he's doing it in a more systematic way. He's going to be trying to put Bivol in positions where Bivol cannot turn and move. The thing that's going to work out in his favor, I believe, is Bivol is not a runner. People look at Bivol's footwork and they assume, oh, he's going to be running from Beterbiev. That's not how he does it. He stays within a big step in your range, one either side or stepping back or stepping off to the side. He's always within the box, what I call it. There's a box, and I call it about like a 4x4 box. He always stays within a 4x4 area of his opponent. He's only always one step away from getting in on you or one step away getting out on you. Beterbiev needs to make sure that he's in punching position like he usually is at all times and not concentrate on just hitting Bivol on the chin, hitting Bivol on the shoulders, hitting him on the arms, hell, punch him in the hips, making constant contact with Dmitry Bivol and varying his attack. And another thing Beterbiev does that I think could work in his favor, he's really good at timing his opponents' jab if they are not getting it back home with that overhand right. He kind of it's like anticipatory. He anticipate that shot and throw that overhand right over top of it and hit him on the side of the head. If you watch the fight against Joe Smith Jr., he dropped Joe Smith and hurt him with that shot just off Joe Smith leaving his jab hanging out there a little too long and not moving out of the way, keeping himself off the line. He anticipated that shot and got him in trouble several times. Joe Smith does not have the skill of a Dmitry Bivol, but that's one of the weapons, that overhand right, that Artur Beterbiev needs to use at his disposal if he wants to get this job done. Listen, I'm not sure what's going to happen in this fight because Beterbiev is turning 40. He is 40 years old. We can't ignore the age. It's not an excuse. It just is what it is. At this age, especially coming off a knee injury, we just don't know who's going to show up. You know what I'm saying? These guys at this age, we on a fight-by-fight basis. It's like that basketball player that starts to sign one-year deals because nobody's willing to invest, although he's still really good and he still can go out there and drop 30 on you. We just don't know what he's going to give us year by year. And after each year, that's where we at with Beterbiev. I'm going to say this. If he's the same guy that we saw against Callum Smith, I'm taking Artur Beterbiev to win this fight. If he's not that same guy, he is not reacting, his reaction times are off, he's not able to pull the trigger like he once was, if he's having mobility issues because of that knee, I just don't think that he'll be able to get Dmitry Bivol in this fight. My prediction for this fight is I'm going to go out, I'm going to step out there, man. I'm going to say that Artur Beterbiev is able to track down Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol fights with pride, and I believe that he's going to fight with pride, and he's going to be within the distance to be touched by Artur Beterbiev. And I think that eventually Artur Beterbiev is going to be able to mow him down. It could be 11, it could be 10 through 12, but I do think that Artur Beterbiev is going to eventually get to him and stop him. That's all I got for now, guys. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to this edition of the Hurt Business 101. You know what they say, it's no business like show business, but I say it's no business like the hurt business. 101 done.